independent Palestine for the Palestinians. And they participated in this event. And after I delivered my speech, they asked me to take a picture with them. I thought, like, okay, here is another picture that came also to you from New York. That particular day, September 23rd, 2011. This is definitely a history for us. And as you see, the ground is very wet because it was raining heavy at some point in time. We Palestinians are like any other nation. We're people. We like to live in freedom. We like to live in dignity. We like to govern ourselves. We're fed up with the occupation, the military occupation. We're fed up with not being able to move from city to city. We are fed up with losing our rights even for education, because you are not in control. When you live in Palestine, you are not in control with your life. The Israelis are in control with the roads. They are in control with the checkpoints. They are in control with every way that take you from city to city. For example, when I was in Palestine, as I mentioned, I went to Bethlehem University. Now, to go, if you live in Ramallah and you have to go to Bethlehem University to study, it means 2 hours, at least 2 hours right now, from Ramallah to Bethlehem. But again, we're talking about almost, if everything is open and no checkpoints and so on, we're talking about 25 minutes. So now that 25 minutes became at least 2 hours, one way. So we want to live like any other nation, like any other people. It's a basic human right. It's a basic human need that we want to govern ourselves. We reject and we continue to reject the Israeli occupation to our land. And it's not going to change, whether we are talking about it today or whether we are talking about it 1,000 years from now. But guess what? 1,000 years from now will be different people who will continue to carry that banner, that freedom banner, and that Palestinian flag, and continue the struggle up until we achieve what we decided to achieve, which is our homeland. We want our homeland back, and that's a basic right for us as Palestinians. Well, they keep telling us, and I heard that many times even from the Israeli side or from the American side, they keep telling us that, okay, well, there is a place for negotiation. Go back to the table. Really, this is most probably the funniest joke that I ever heard in my life. We tried the table for almost 20 years. For almost 20 years, what did we achieve? We lost more and more Palestinian lands for illegal settlements. What else? Well, we lost more and more Palestinians that got shot and killed because of their stand and their stand and strong stand for Palestine. We lost our right for education because the Israelis can anytime stop you from going to school. They can impose the curfew on the whole city as a collective punishment. So we didn't achieve anything. As Jason mentioned, in 1993, as a matter of fact, I was one of the people who witnessed the historic handshaking between President Arafat and late Prime Minister Rabin at the White House. I was sitting there, and that particular moment, I was filled with hope. Hope for respect, hope for peace, hope for freedom, and hope for everything that you can imagine as a human being. 3 years later, when Netanyahu became the Israeli Prime Minister, who is the Israeli Prime Minister right now, I lost that hope. I was very supportive of Oslo Agreement. I'm totally against Oslo Agreement right now. So what the right-wing Israelis are achieving right now is killing even any hope that we might have for peace and for just peace inside us as Palestinians. And these are things that we have to keep in mind, is that, okay, till when can we wait up until the Israeli again will finally maybe decide to give us 10% off even the 1967 area. So we are not going to submit anymore. We will not submit. Because again, as I said, and I will continue to repeat that, because the Palestinian rights are not up for negotiation anymore. It doesn't matter whether Netanyahu like that or not, whether anybody else like that or not, we will win at the end. And Palestine will be free at the end. And this is a promise for us, promise for our kids, and promise for our grandkids, all the way, even if it takes 1,000 years from now. Somebody gonna carry that banner. If it's not us, our kids. If it's not our kids, their kids, and so on. And that is very important. There is no gray area. In my mind, there is no gray area when it comes to human rights and international law. Israel continues to violate the international law. Israel continues to violate the human rights by imprisoning if you look at statistics, I can guarantee you one thing. At least half of the Palestinian people spend some time in prison, and I'm one of them. I was tortured for a very simple reason, just because I'm Palestinian and because I was a student leader. I was a political prisoner that was tortured for no reason, just because I stood up and said, I have a right in this land, and this land is my land, and this is Palestine, and that's where I want to live, and where I want to grow up, and where I want to die. So these are things that are definitely rights that each one of us have to feel proud when we defend those rights. Just imagine someone from Cedar Rapids, for example, moves to your house here in Iowa City and say, guess what? That's not your house anymore. Get out. That's exactly what happened to my dad's house. We still have the key. We still have the deed in Jaffa. We cannot go near that house because they brought a Polish Jewish family and gave them our house, and they settled in our house. We cannot go near that house. That's not justice. That's not justice. And without justice, there will be no peace. And this is our message to anybody. And we are willing to work with everybody, but we are not willing to give up our rights and our basic rights as a human being. So again, we continue the same thing, so I don't need to go through all this. This is, as I said, this is, again, a great achievement. December 13, 2011, when President Mahmoud Abbas was there for the raise of the Palestinian flag in front of the UNESCO. That was a big achievement. Yes, we lost, again, getting the Security Council accepting us as a full state, but guess what? A couple months after that, we achieved this. We achieved a full membership at the UNESCO. And right away after that, we achieved a very important issue, which is listing the Church of Nativity in Bethlehem as a Palestinian heritage for the first time ever in the history. So we are very proud of what we are achieving. Yes, maybe it's not what we like to see right away, but guess what? It will take some time before we get there. November, as Jason also mentioned, November 29, 2012, and that's when Palestine was accepted as a non-state member. And we, of course, we got the honor to share this with Vatican at the United Nations. As you see, 138 voted yes, 9 opposed, and 41 abstained. That was a big victory for the Palestinian politics, in the international area. That was definitely a big victory for everybody who continued to work on this issue. One thing I would like to use usually, Martin Luther King Jr. once said, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Remember, sometimes I meet with people say, I don't need to worry about what's going on in Palestine or somewhere else. But remember, injustice anywhere is a threat to your justice, even here in the United States. I do believe in that. Freedom is never voluntarily given by the oppressor. Israel is not going to hand us on a golden plate our freedom. It must be demanded by the oppressed. And that's we as a Palestinian people needs to continue to do. We need to continue to demand that justice. We need to continue to demand our freedom. Otherwise, no one else will do that for us. This is some statistic. And I thought this is really, I mean, just basic rights. We're talking about basic rights. Can you imagine you were born at an Israeli checkpoint? Can you imagine that? Can you close your eyes and really imagine? First of all, do you know exactly what an Israeli checkpoint? I mean, some of you, I have no doubt, some of you do. Some of you visited Palestine and you went through this. But take some statistic here. From 2000 to 2005, 67 Palestinian mothers were forced to give birth at Israeli military checkpoints, in which 36 babies end up dying. Can you imagine that horrible moments for those mothers who seen their kids dying in front of them because the Israelis continue to insist that everybody has to go through those checkpoints? If you look, as of June 2012, we had 542 Israeli permanent checkpoints and obstacles on the roads that continue to separate every city and every village in Palestine from each other. So what kind of freedom do we have? What kind of Palestinian states they are talking about? There's no viable Palestinian state, even with Oslo Agreement. This is part of the reason why I stood against Oslo Agreement in 6 years after the signing of that agreement. Because we started to see all these issues, and we started to deal with all these issues. Rather than seeing improvement, we start going back as a result of Oslo. So these are issues that we have to remember. Here, we talk about Gaza. Those are some statistics here. I mean, who for example, gonna bring back the 400 children that got killed and murdered by the Israelis when Israel decided to attack again Gaza Strip at the end of 2008? Who gonna put those 100,000 people who were displaced because of this aggression against them? I mean, the list goes bigger and bigger and bigger if we want to continue to talk about violation of human rights and violation of human dignity for every Palestinian that lives in Palestine. The same thing. One thing I like here that I would like to share with you. On December 17, 1948, Prime Minister David Ben-Gurion tell his cabinet, "We might benefit from conquering Gaza, but it's clear to me that Gaza won't be in our hands even if we conquer it 1,000 times." And our message to Netanyahu right now, we are not going to say 1,000 times. We can give you 1,000,000 times and you will never dream to conquer Gaza or the West Bank or Palestine or the Palestinian people. We will always live. We will always raise our hand. We will always raise our flag. And we will always raise our head very high because we are proud Palestinians. We are proud of our heritage. We are proud of our history. And we are proud of the convention that we belong to, which is a free Palestine. And that is very important. At the end, I would like to share with you a 4 minutes video, if you allow me here. And I think I lost the mouse here. I would like to share that. This is the time when I went to Ramallah. I had some meetings at the Palestinian headquarters with different government officials. And when I was given the authority to direct again the event for Palestinian State 191. I'm not quite sure if the sound. Okay.
جايين ونمشي خلف سرايا عالخيل الصهباني ما حد بيجي زيه ولا ياخذ مكانه يا سر الله حيه والثورة عنوانه ما حد بيجي زيه ولا ياخذ مكانه يا سر الله حيه والثورة عنوانه حيه يا شعبي حيه رجاله
Palestinian in general lost a father, someone who has a very strong conviction and someone who continued to fight for years and years and years for the Palestinian dignity and justice. President Arafat will continue to live in our hearts as Palestinian people and will continue to be with us.
Okay, well, I will stop here. Thanks a million for having me here. I look forward to take any of your questions. And with that, my friend Yasser will come over and continue that.
Thank you, John, and thank you, everybody. It's going to be hard for me to follow suit after this wonderful presentation, but bear with me. And if you can't hear me, let me know. I'm just recovering from cold, so let me know if you need me to speak a little bit louder. Let me see if I can get this to work. Here we go. Thank you again for coming. My name is Yasser. I see familiar faces here, but for people that they don't know me, I am originally Palestinian. I live here in Iowa City, and I'm part of the organization People for Justice in Palestine, which is an organization that started here in Iowa City. It was probably 10 years ago or so, after the first Sharon invasion into the West Bank. So we decided that we needed to do something, and we start teaching people about the Palestine and kind of give people an alternative to the mainstream media and what we hear in the news. So that's one of the reasons that the group was established. And as Jason said, we have events and we have meetings that goes on. So please, if you're interested in learning more, come and join us. So I'm here to talk about the UN resolution of